Hey, so do you think it is better to use collaboration or competition in your gamified program? That's the question for today, day 27 of the 40 Gameful Days of Summer. So, like we talked about in the previous video, my answer is going to be, it depends. So sometimes you might not really stress either one, or you may find one is better than another for a particular situation. Or, hey, kind of like cake and ice cream. Do you want one or the other? Hey, why not have a little bit of both? You can do the same thing. You might have activities where you have teams, so you have collaboration among the people. And those teams are competing against one another. So you can have a variety of things or a variety of activities, some of which are competitive, some of which are collaborative, and you can mix and match them if that's what's appropriate for your particular situation. Now, having said that, obviously there are some advantages to using one versus the other in certain situations. So I just want to talk a little bit about a few of those things that I've seen that have worked well or not worked quite as well. So collaboration it's hard to come up with a lot of negatives for it, because what happens when you use collaboration is you're benefiting not only from the participants getting a chance to learn more about whatever the subject matter is, and also having the advantage of the different viewpoints, and they're learning all those peripheral skills as well. They're learning communication skills, critical thinking skills, because they have to analyze and evaluate different ideas. So you have all these sort of side benefits to using collaboration. But I will caution you, the one time that collaboration can be a little tricky is if you're sort of forcing people into collaborations before there's any sort of relationship or trust. Now, sometimes that's the whole point, is you're trying to get people to mix and mingle and network and get to know one another. And that's fine if the activity is sort of a low stakes activity, just a discussion thing, some little activity like that. But here's a problem. I was in a graduate course years back, and within like the first week or so, and this course was completely online, so none of us knew one another. We really, we never met. We couldn't even, we didn't even see pictures of one another, anything like that. It was all pretty much text. And so within the first couple of weeks of this course, we were told we had to pair up to do this final project, which was a big part of our grade and was a big part of the course. And it was incredibly stressful, because here, I was like, how do I know who I want to work with? I don't have an opportunity to even get to know these people before I make this decision to work with somebody long term on this big project. So it turned out okay. We ended up everybody pitched their list of potential topics into the discussion forum, and you kind of, looked and saw who might be doing something similar to what you were interested in. And I got lucky, and the person I was working with, it worked well, but it wasn't really that collaborative. We ended up spending most of our time sort of logistical type things and not so much really exploring the content together. So it could have been a much better experience. But so collaboration, I'm not down on it. I'm not down on group activities, but I think we have to, again, give some thought as to the larger context of how it's being done. The flip side with competition, I know some people say they're really not competitive, but given the right circumstances, if you're doing review activities, you're doing a short little sort of burst activity where you getting everybody to jump in with their answers, there's not too many people that I've worked with that haven't had some fun with that. So it can be very nice for situations like that. However, you do have to be careful with competition, because if you have some people that are hyper competitive and you have a group of people that are on very different levels in terms of their experience and skills in whatever the topic is, that can get very demotivating for the people who are more on the beginner end of things. Like, why am I even bothering to play along? Because, this other person already knows all the answers. So the competition thing, you have to be careful. You also have to be careful that it doesn't become about the game. And what I mean is we have to remember that we're always talking about learning experiences, and the learning has to take priority. So something being fun and competitive and a game-like thing just for the sake of making it a little more interesting, if that takes away from the learning experience, and if it becomes people are more focused on the competition and winning and playing, then we've missed the mark. And so just be a little careful about that. So, running a little longer than usual today. I apologize for that, but as always, I hope you will leave me some thoughts of your own, so this becomes more of a collaborative thing. There's no competition here. So let me know what you think. Let me know what else you'd like to hear about, and I will be back here tomorrow. Bye now.